Hey, what's up YouTube? What's going on? Back here with a new video today. And in today's new video, what we're going to be talking about is something that people with a bulging or herniated disc need to be considerate of moving forward. Now, that's if you're pain-free or maybe if you're currently in pain. It's just something to consider, especially if you're involved in sports, weightlifting, or an athletic lifestyle. So the key thing to understand when it comes to a bulging or herniated disc is that the mechanics of the spine are going to be disrupted. And so our spinal discs, since they absorb shock, if we have a bulging or herniated disc, and especially if we're someone that maybe is pain-free or maybe has healed in a sense or has got rid of that pain and we live a pain-free lifestyle now, specifically in my case where I have a herniated disc but it's not causing me pain, the thing that we have to understand is that because that shock absorber is still disrupted and I still have that herniation, we have a disruption at that L5S1 level in my case specifically, so that's where my disc herniation was. So when force is transmitted through the spine there, that disc just still doesn't have the same kind of integrity to withstand or absorb that force or that load that's going to be placed on the spine. So what ends up happening is that there's a weak spot there essentially because of that disruption, and then the force, what ends up happening is going to be transmitted to different areas or segments. Specifically, the facet joints may take more of that compression or that load because that disc herniation has lost a little bit of its ability to maybe withstand that load or absorb that shock because it's herniated outwards because of that damage that has already been created, and essentially it hasn't fully healed at the same time. So what this implications or the implications of this is essentially that if someone were to do a lot of maybe compressive activity or a lot of loading on their spine, what can happen is that because of that disc herniation being there, the facet joints may take more of that force now, or maybe the above segments or below segments where that disc herniation is may take more force as well. So what ends up happening is you may get maybe at a greater risk for the onset of facet joint arthritis. You may have some more degenerative changes there, or maybe to the above and below discs as well. You may have more of a risk for degenerative changes there as well. And the reason being is just because that disc herniation cannot really withstand that same load or absorb that same force as it once did. And so that's something to be really considerate of, because people with a disc herniation or disc bulge may be at a greater risk for developing arthritis in the future, or just be at a greater risk or an onset for it. And a lot of people with a herniated disc or bulging disc already currently have arthritis at their facet joints. And this is specifically one of the reasons why someone may have developed some degree of arthritis already, or maybe if they haven't already, they may have a greater just kind of risk for that onset of developing it at some point, especially if they're involved in athletics or a lot of compressive activity, maybe in weightlifting or sports, whatever the case may be. So it's something to just be really considerate of, and it's something just I wanted to share with you guys to be aware of, specifically if you have a disc herniation or disc bulge, maybe you have arthritis, maybe you don't have arthritis. It's just something to be considerate of because that disc is already herniated or bulging, maybe it's not causing pain, it can put someone at a greater risk for developing other degenerative changes as well, because the force transmission through the spine is not going to be the same as it once was, and other structures are going to have to compensate to withstand that force. And so we get loading on different structures, which leads to a greater risk of developing degenerative changes there. So something I just wanted to share with you guys, specifically if you guys are involved in athletics or weightlifting. Now, I'm not saying don't get involved in weightlifting, don't get involved in sports if you have a herniated disc or bulging disc. If that's your goal, feel free to get back to it. It's just something to be considerate of. And this just stresses the furthermore importance of maintaining good spine hygiene on a daily basis, improving posture, improving movement, developing good core stability, developing that muscular endurance, and developing whatever kind of needs or requirements for activity, whatever activity you may be involved in, maybe whether it's a sport or just maybe a daily job that you are performing. And that's just something I wanted to share with you guys, something you guys might not have been aware of, and I just wanted to share with you guys just so you guys are aware of that moving forward, and so you guys can develop the proper maybe recovery strategies or training strategies moving forward in terms of yourself and maintaining a good and healthy spine throughout the rest of your life moving forward, or whatever the case may be. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, be sure to leave them below, and until next time guys, I wish you guys all the best and a successful and productive day. Take care.